everybody. Welcome to the September 26th live edition of the Ravens Flock. This is the last live stream before the end of the month. We are going to end it off with some awesome nerd news. The news is always streaming every week, no matter what people say. There's always something going on. There's always something to talk about. And joining us from a separate Zoom stream is the man behind Los Amigos Play, Mr. Angel Mendez, reporting from his own home. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It is good. And joining me on my right is the host of the Black Files and also the man behind the awesome, terrific quality of content that is the Ravens Flock, all videos, everything, Mr. Juan Rouse.
Oh, Bischoff.
And you know what? I'm glad that we're talking about Salt Angel because, and you know what's fitting? Right now we're kicking back and we're sipping on some Mountain Dew Code Red. Code Red! Yeah, I know. Back then, when this was the hottest thing to drink for gamers.
Well, there was Mountain Dew Game Fuel specifically, and then they had Mountain Dew Livewire, and Code Red kind of came out with Mountain Dew Voltage, which kind of tasted like those Ninja Turtles gummies that you used to get back in the 90s at the bodega. At least I used to get them that way. I don't know if anyone else has had it, but if you have, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Personally, I always think that Code Red is at the top of the mountain in terms of Mountain Dew flavors.
I don't think so. No.
Yes, indeed.
Because we gamers, the most oppressed of minorities, require a chalice to drink away our tears. Because Betty's still not talking to me after all those fucking months.
Betty?
Wow, Black Betty Bambalam?
Angel, is there something you want to talk about later? You know what we're doing?
You need some counseling? I know you ain't all into like relationships with human beings and shit, but is this something we need to help you out with, brother?
What the fuck?
There's only so much satisfaction digital non-corporeal waifus that don't physically exist in the real world can give you.
Yeah, you want to end up like Krieger from Archer where he has this freaking holographic Japanese waifu? Oh god. Oh.
Wow.
Yes, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to take a turn down south because speaking of Code Red,
Stefania is on our YouTube stream. She says she can't hear the dude with the white headset. What do you mean you can't hear Angel? Hang on. How about now? Can you hear him now?
Yes. Please let us know.
Wait, I know what it is. Oh God, don't tell me.
Did you mute me again?
I think I did, but you shouldn't have muted him.
Oppressed by my own friends.
How dare you?
Once more, the people I trust put a dagger in my back and twist it on my spine while they fuck me in the ass.
Silence him, not silence him.
All right. Let's test it again. Can you hear the words coming out of my mouth?
She said, there we go. Okay, thank you, Stefania.
Thank you, thank you.
I'll never understand the words coming out of your mouth.
Bueno, eso es lo que pasa porque nunca entendí el lenguaje cuando me hablaron la otra vez que yo me aquí.
So, speaking of
What do you want from me?
I understood that, but that's bullshit.
All right. Speaking of Code Red, we do need to talk about the latest COVID outbreak that has happened in WWE and All Elite Wrestling.
Of course, because the entertainers have to suffer first.
Yes.
Well, it's funny, and before we get into that, let's go ahead and remind folks, once again, this is an uncensored broadcast. We swear, we will give our opinions you might not agree with. We will say things that will clash with your piddly worldview. Just like on our uncensored podcast, you're free to tune out, but we actually invite you to keep an open mind, to join us, open your hearts up to us, open up your minds to the ideas that maybe, just maybe, you're not the only person in the universe. No man is an island, and we invite you quite courteously to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, which is down here in either Twitch or YouTube. And of course, if you're going to chat with us, if you're on a desktop, you'll see the comments down below. You can comment with us there, or if you're on a mobile device, you'll comment with us here, and on here, whatever. Just talk to us. We want to talk.
And don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all our media content going forward on YouTube.
For the love of God.
And if you're one of the people that did subscribe to us, please keep an eye on that because YouTube seems to have this bizarre habit of unsubscribing people for no reason. But that's what happens when you staff your entire website with monkeys.
Is
Not
there a
much can be.
notification bell or something similar to that for Twitch?
There's the follow button, which is basically subscribing. But if we do get big enough on Twitch, which will be very soon, with your help, I hope, then people can subscribe to us and actually subscribe monthly and help support the Ravens flock, and also get neat little emojis that we're gonna have to figure out so you can join in on the fun.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll just steal some crap with poop on it and put it on paper. That's how artists are made.
Alright,
But
so
speaking of poop,
Sushi's watching us on YouTube also.
Hi, thanks for joining us. All right, so
Thank you.
I really got to get into it right now. So before I get into the recent news, it should be noted that when it comes to COVID-19, All Elite Wrestling, they handled it from the get-go. From the beginning of March, they started doing empty arenas. They started doing actual COVID testing for all personnel, all performers and staff.
Everybody
And-
got
Yes.
intimately familiar with cotton swabs in the nose.
Yes,
It was
there was
close.
no room for error. They actually did their jobs, and if there's anybody who felt any sort of symptoms or whatsoever, they would have them self-isolated in hotel suites for a period of 2 weeks to test again. So, it should be noted, All Elite Wrestling, from the start, has handled things correctly.
WWE, on the other hand, has done out of...
hang on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, it's getting too loud again. I'm getting that bizarre scratchy echo. Can you check your volume levels just to play it safe?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey,
I'll try to...
Sorry to interrupt.
I think I know
I
what it
just-
is. How about now?
Right now?
Okay,
Better?
just speak a sentence at normal volume, no
I'm
screaming.
going to speak a sentence, and I'm speaking it in normal volume. How's that?
Still feels too loud. We'll look that up. For now, it's fine.
Yeah,
Try to see.
But can you
Try
still
to-
understand what we're saying, right?
Oh no, I can hear you just fine. It's just this volume spikes so much it hurts my ears sometimes a little bit.
Could be the headphones themselves, man. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Most likely.
Also, Space Sushi's telling us on YouTube, have you guys heard about the new Nier game, Nier Replicant?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
We'll get to it in a moment. I promise.
Yes. Now, getting back on the COVID subject. WWE, however, when the whole thing started, they started doing empty arenas. They moved to the performance center. They checked temperatures and gave out questionnaires rather than doing COVID testing. They didn't take it seriously until in the middle of the summer when they had their first outbreak with WWE stars testing positive.
And suddenly, for no reason, people just started dropping dead in the streets.
More to the point, the WWE was basically, as they usually do whenever something bad happens, refusing to accept the fabric of reality as they know it, because nothing in the real world should do with the WWE in any way, apparently, according to them.
Also, the WWE has done everything they can to try and maintain control of the public eye. In other words, not allowing their personnel or any of the staff to announce publicly themselves on their social media platforms that they tested positive. Because it's
yes.
a bad PR image for the company.
If we bury our heads in the sand hard enough, maybe the problems will just go away by themselves. Forever.
One little thing that was actually brought up, and it's something that it didn't actually occur to me until it was actually mentioned, the HIPAA Act, which is basically like healthcare in the workplace and all that stuff, basically says no one other than you is allowed to publicly say if you have any sort of ailment. Not your employer, not any other family member, nothing. So, strictly speaking, the WWE doesn't really have to, rather they're not really allowed to say, oh, like, fulano's got COVID or whatever. So if a wrestler wants to say it on their own, they're free to do so. But their employers are forbidden by law to do that. So they can kind of justify that. It kind of makes sense. I don't know.
But wait,
Yeah.
how can they have employers if they are independent contractors?
That's a discussion for another time. But
I hate that
yeah,
loophole, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, loopholes and restrictions notwithstanding, since then, they've taken their own measures. WWE has moved their operations to the Thunderdome at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida.
You know what all that means? All it means is that too much crap has happened in the Performance Center, which was their like training academy, whatever, in Orlando, and it's much too small for them. So they went ahead and they rented out the arena in Orlando and converted that to their Thunderdome for the next 2 months.
Yep, they're still airing NXT at the Performance Center with all the performers and staff wearing masks, standing at ringside behind the plexiglass. And AEW, they are now letting attendees come in at a limited capacity, not to full capacity, but at a limited capacity, but still, checking their temperatures as they come in, and they're still doing their routines. Until now, it is reported from multiple sources, from Sean Ross Saps from Fightful and Sports 360's John Alba. They were able to confirm that multiple wrestlers and talent present at All Elite Wrestling's September 9th tapings tested positive for COVID-19 in the 2 weeks since. We were not told if those tests were separately conducted or if they were conducted and diagnosed at either set of tapings. There were others we've heard are ill or showing symptoms, but we're unsure if they've tested positive. Some of the talent involved have been brought in for the last set of AEW Dark tapings. AEW Dark is their YouTube exclusive show where they show matches that they don't air on national TV. Many of the talents are not contracted and can take independent wrestling dates, but are tested before entering the Daily's place for All Elite Wrestling work. There were numerous wrestlers missing from the September 24th set of tapings, but we will not be identifying anyone that we've heard as COVID-19. One of the wrestlers, Lance Archer, has already identified himself as having COVID shortly before the show started, noting that he believes he contracted it from a family member. Yeah.
All right.
This is sounding kind of sus. Sus as hell.
It's all suspect, brother. This whole nightmare has been one bad disaster after another. But it's funny because we've been watching for the last few months and all this shit on how these guys are actually handling it all. It's not like if all things are equal, the WWE has not been handling this shit in any way that could be even joked about.
Oh yeah,
being proper.
Everything I said,
ignore it until it affects them, and even when it affects them, they don't acknowledge that that's like an actual issue in the real world.
Oh yeah, everything I just said, that's on the All Elite Wrestling side. On the WWE side, on the other hand, here we go. Classes were indefinitely postponed. Yeah, this is so serious. I have to put my sunglasses down to show my human eyes.
Oh shit.
Classes were indefinitely postponed. If you remember, classes were just starting again, and they were starting to pick them back up. Those were postponed, and what I can tell you is that this had a tangible effect on creative in the sense of the gauntlet for the championship that they will be running. I don't know about the women. It might have for the women. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny, but I can tell you for the gauntlet eliminator, it did have an effect. And of course, for another report from Curbside Hero 531, WWE has shut down all ongoing NXT training and tapings as a result of the COVID outbreak at the Performance Center in Orlando. PW Insider has confirmed with multiple sources that training was halted today and that NXT talents and staff are being told to sequester themselves as a precautionary measure. Sources within the Performance Center believe that the cause of the outbreak was a party thrown at an NXT talent that fellow trainees attended.
It's always a fucking party, isn't it?
It was a fucking party. It was a fucking party!
It's always a goddamn party.
These morons! What are they thinking? This led to the spread, which has caused multiple confirmed cases amongst both wrestlers and staff. Last night's episode of NXT and the one taped for this coming Wednesday were both affected, with talent being taken off the show and sent home due to positive tests. WWE has also barred any NXT talent or staff from working the ongoing Raw and SmackDown tapings until further notice. There is some worry that the talents who worked under masks as retribution on recent shows could have spread the disease to the main roster, but none of those worries have borne fruit as of yet. WWE, yep. And that's it.
And yes, this is my popcorn dance, Space
So once again, hey guys, remember that plague that we told you you shouldn't go into social media? Let's just all go to a social media and just cram in there.
Party during a pandemic where you're not practicing social distancing. Are you kidding me?
Remember that Judge Lady of Justice who died recently because she lost the battle against cancer?
Yes, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her
Listen.
notorious RGB, she passed away due to cancer.
Listen, I'm sorry that she passed away. I'm sorry that she's dead. And I hope that whoever replaces it can pick up the slack. But did her funeral really require thousands of people to cram in the same area?
No, as a matter of fact,
that has nothing to do.
Once again.
Angel, this has nothing to do with what we're discussing.
I know, but I'm saying it's connected to the why do we keep doing this shit, guys?
actually, what's happening with her right now is that her casket, her coffin, is lying in state at the lobby of the Supreme Court. And that sort of like state honor hasn't been observed in years, but she was such a big deal. She had so much big dick energy that she's earned that funeral honor, and she'll actually be laid to rest and buried within the next week or so.
Oh no, that's fine. But I'm more worried about the fact that why do people keep making the same mistake? Now, first with this, and now with wrestling, as Joe said. Guys, the most basic safety measure is to not be in large gatherings of people. That's all you have to do. I don't care why you're outside. I don't care why do you think it's so important. I don't care if you're fighting for the wrestling or the judge or the Black Lives or whatever. We should not be in large groups of people in the middle of a pandemic that has already killed 204,000 people in the United States.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree.
Why do we have to repeat this? This is common sense. Children understand this better than me. Come on, man.
And these performers, these WWE staff members and performers, they're also health they're not super gurus, but they have a sense of like health. Like they know. Do you know what
An entertainer should be in good shape to deliver the best possible performance.
Yes. I know the answer. I know the answer to all this.
What's the answer?
Go on.
Are you ready to hear it, Angel?
Go on.
The immortal words of the late great comedian George Carlin. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups.
Oh shit.
People are fucking morons, especially if they're the kind of folks who don't believe that the virus is real or shit, or that the 204,000 people who have died in this country because of it is a big grand conspiracy to destroy Donald Trump or something stupid like that.
Or if they think that somehow their cause is more important than their lives. Listen, buddy, if you want to die for a cause, that's fine. Just don't drag the rest of us into this shit. This is an infectious disease. And now the performers are suffering because they had to go to the goddamn party. Why do you have to go to the party? The majority of them are famous wrestlers. They can throw parties by blinking hard enough and flexing their muscles.
No, this is a party thrown by NXT trainees. These are the wrestlers of tomorrow, the wrestlers who would become stars in the future.
Well, if they get hit by the sickness hard enough, none of them are going to live to see tomorrow.
You're not wrong. For crying out loud, man. I haven't been exposed to any fucking buddy that I know of who's got this damn thing. But I'll tell you right now, I'm actually recovering from this past Sunday up until maybe Wednesday. And I'm telling folks because I want to give a little perspective. I had the worst fucking feeling in my body in the last like 72 hours in my life. I was drained of energy. I was aching all over my body. I was getting pain shooting from my knees down to my toes. And then from my knees up my freaking hips. It was horrible. I couldn't function properly. Instead of taking my lunch break when I was at work, I was taking a nap. Instead, I would drink a liquid milkshake or whatever, like a protein shake, and I would drink that, and I'd go to sleep for an hour. And then I'd wake back up and come back so I can continue working at home. But I didn't fucking put anyone else at risk by trying to go and have myself a luau or some shit. I'm not rocking out in Treasure Island trying to infect people and have myself a goddamn party har-har. No, I'm fucking staying home like the busybody that I am, and I'm staying here. And I'm keeping myself safe. I don't think I have COVID, but you know what I do have? I have a fucking sense of self-preservation and societal preservation. I'm trying to keep myself from dying needlessly, and I'm trying to help you motherfuckers from dying needlessly.
But they will never listen.
But don't fucking
Yes.
salute me. I'm just doing what's supposed to be normal.
You know who is not doing what's supposed to be normal? The mayor of Florida.
Don't remind me.
So Florida,
Oh my god, dude, are you doing better now? Yes, I'm fine now.
He's fine.
I was
There's
just
nothing
thinking
to
that
worry about.
Yeah,
he'll live.
Probably all the popcorn. I actually, you know what?
You keep eating the popcorn because I do have a statement that I do want to read out that's from WWE addressing this.
Man,
Fire away,
I
fam.
actually hadn't touched my popcorn in a couple days.
Whatever.
But go on, Jose.
All right. The official statement from WWE. As part of ongoing testing protocols, WWE completed its second round of weekly COVID-19 testing on Tuesday, September 22nd. Individuals that tested positive will quarantine for 14 days, receive medical care, and then will only be cleared when they are symptom-free and test negative. Additionally, extensive contact tracing has taken place, and other individuals have been placed in a 14-day quarantine and will then only be cleared after they test negative.
At least they're taking some measures. It's just regretful that we got to the point that we had to take these measures instead of, oh no, everybody just kept their distance and washed their hands and wiped their nalgas, and now everybody's nice and healthy and fancy and they can body slam each other all they want to. Giggity.
You want to know what other measures they might be taking?
What?
Oh, you look sick. Here's a Z-Pack.
Well,
Schools who did that.
Juan was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning he breaks his arms, and every afternoon he breaks his legs. At night, I lie awake in agony until the heart attacks put me to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
The only fucking thing that these guys could actually hope to do is offer you a Z-Pack.
You know,
And hope to God that it cures you from your disease.
I'm glad we're bringing this up now. It's too much for me to bring up on my Thursday night live stream. I think it's best if I talk it out with you guys. And yeah, because of all this, they had to do several rewrites for AEW and for NXT. Many of the matches on the cards for Wednesday night have been changed because of it.
How unfortunate, really.
Yes.
But this is exactly what happens. Action begets consequence, and people are not listening. Guys, we are in September. We are in month 9 of quarantine. Is this the longest quarantine we ever had in the United States?
From what I could tell, yes. And
This feels like the longest quarantine.
Start in March?
Yeah, it's 7
January?
months.
So
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So
it's okay.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months worth of quarantine. Let's just go for the new. Actually, you know, let me look it up. Give me a second to Google this shit.
Yeah, by all means.
What is the longest quarantine in history? The longest quarantine in history. God damn, they don't even give me a name. The village of Ayam in 1665 and the East Samoa during 1918, but they don't tell me how long they lasted. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah,
Come on, give me the long one.
while
You
you look
fucks.
that up, like I said, it's important to note that AEW has been handling things correctly from the start. They have been doing COVID tests and they have been quarantining their staff members for 14 days if they showed any symptoms. So on that regard, they're doing it right. It's just, again, even if you're doing things correctly, you're still running a risk.
The unfortunately is always going to be there, and as long as people keep forgetting to use common sense, the risk will remain and the virus will continue and more people will keep on dying, and I'll get to sit at home doing my work from 9 to 5 at my house. You know what? I think we should just let's just keep it happen. Just roll it. At this point, I'm not saying that I have no sympathy. I'm saying that clearly some people just don't want to live, and clearly some people don't know how terrible it is to die. So let's just let natural selection run its course, and we're just going to do the thing that we do, that we just kind of sit here. You know what? This is the beautiful thing about being Latinos. We are the only ones that kind of just walk through this whole thing untouched.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Maybe we're blessed by the gods, but in the case, we're just going to sit here, maintain our distance, keep ourselves clean, and just wait until the trash compactor passes by to process the bodies into good old packets of Soylent Green.
Which is terrible because what do you call it? Like naturally, we're very sociable people. Very naturally, we want
Speak for
to be
yourself.
partying and hanging out and checking bitches out in Treasure Island or whatever.
Hell yeah, man! Shit!
I would love to go down to Ybor City right now, see it packed with people, and check out all the great big booty bitches that are running around in Ybor. I would like to do that.
Stop looking into my mind!
No.
I just want to go to that creperia again, you know?
Yes, La Creperia.
It was expensive, but God, the food was amazing.
Yes, it is.
You could see the chef with the chef. He even had a traditional chef's hat.
Like,
That was the coolest thing.
Wear the freaking hat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Space Sushi saying, I honestly prefer working from home. The 7 train in New York City sucks in the morning. In a way,
Oh.
this probably had to happen. There are hopefully more people being sanitary now than pre-COVID. You're right. How many assholes walk out of the public restroom and not wash their hands? How many people don't wash their hands after using the bathroom or handling trash or whatever? Like,
A little more than I can count.
Fair and honest with ourselves. Like, do we really wash our hands that often?
Yes.
Not really. Not
Well,
really.
I do. Then again, there's a reason we are still healthy and everybody else is not. We are good little boys who washed their hands and ate their veggies and took out the garbage and did their homework.
Indeed. Now, back on the subject. Now, the WWE, we can't really fault the company. Not this time. In this case, the fault goes on the talent, the trainees,
Yeah.
the people who hosted the freaking party.
Eager and bright-eyed, filled with arrogance. They thought they could surpass their betters. Buddy, if you somehow end up getting so fucked up by this illness that you ruin your wrestling career before it starts, I have no sympathy for any of them if that's the case. I'm sorry, but no.
It's irresponsible on so many levels, not just on the individual, but you're also making things worse for the WWE, who are trying to do damage control. Well,
For once, Vince McMahon is not guilty of all the stupid shit happening.
Go fucking figure.
This is a goddamn trendsetter, let me tell you.
That's so bizarre. Like, normally we want to blame him because he's a domineering psychopath, but in this case, it's actually not his fault directly. What are the fucking odds?
Well, not yet. Apparently, like as we mentioned earlier, since they're doing their shows on the Thunderdome at the Amway Center, their contract for using the venue expires on October 31st, and they do have plans to actually start touring and going to other locations.
And now I'm worried again.
We're gonna have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it.
No, I know. That's the best part. We are at the station, and we're not even in the station waiting for the train wreck. We are the guys outside of the station collecting tickets and just kind of waiting to see what happens. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to be horrible. We know I'm going to have to pick up someone's severed torso as their entrails dangle from the other side of a rusty gate. But all we can do is wait for the train to get there. It's like it's like Final Destination, but we know we're not going to die.
Oh my god. I like how you bring it up 1 week before October, before Spooky Month.
Oh, that's right. Halloween is coming, though. Considering how this year has been, I don't know how it can get any spookier. And now that I said that, I just guaranteed the zombie invasion. Where's my bingo card?
Freaking run, you idiot!
Hang on, I have a bingo card in here somewhere. I can't find the damn thing. Damn it.
Your analogy of the burning train coming into the station. It's a good thing that we keep these videos up for everyone to watch, so you can re-watch this anytime you want. Just skip to this point in the program. So if you want to grab that, feel free.
All right. Before we move
Bookmark
on,
it.
final thoughts. COVID outbreak. How WWE and AEW is handling.
They're both idiots.
Incredible surprise that for once the company is not guilty of it. But yes, idiocy abounds.
Yes.
Idiocracy was supposed to be a satire, not a handbook. But here we fucking are. The only other thing that was more ridiculous was the WWE's implementation of a new gimmick, of a new group of evil bad guys that they're calling Retribution, which basically it started off with a bunch of dudes who were clearly black guys in black clothing and balaclavas and ninja masks showing up with chains, with sledgehammers, with crowbars, and hands and wood saws.
They had chainsaws.
Is that the Food Clan? That sounds like the Food Clan.
And they showed up and they started using it to tear down the tables and the rings and threaten people in the phony audience. And because it's totally not an analogy about protesters destroying and they're only vandals and how the Black Lives Matter movement is just a reason for people to be violent. No, it's not analogous to that at all. You know why it's not analogous? Because once they actually officially signed, why the hell would you sign a group of people who are out to kill your company? Why would you sign all the contracts? Why are you paying them?
Because controversy puts the asses in the seats.
And when they finally make their debut, now they're showing up in knockoff Bane masks from the Dark Knight Rises.
Of course.
God, I'm gonna throw up.
No, I'm not even surprised. See, you know what I find hilarious about this whole situation? How quickly the parallels have set on. Because in the real world, we got the police force. Most of them are just trying to do their jobs, but there's a certain section of them who are a bunch of assholes who are just causing trouble for everybody and making the rest of them look bad. Good on that? Now, on the other side, we have the Black Lives Matter movements. Most of them are trying to fight against the corrupt system that is trying to fuck them, and the majority of them don't want to start shit. But there's a minority on their side that is purposely starting shit and making the rest of them look bad. The parallels are becoming bigger by the day. So, of course, the wrestling industry go, we need somebody to start shit. We need some heels. I have an idea. Let's capitalize on people's fear of the asshole rioters that are breaking shit and stealing things. Let's make the Foot Clan. And they made the Foot Clan, and it works. You know why? Because people love controversy.
Angel,
We drink that shit.
do you want to hear the names of the members of Retribution?
Which,
Oh,
by the
please,
way,
gi-
they gave them names. Like
Give me names, please.
One of the super thing that we know who the actual wrestlers are because they used to be in the NXT developmental brand. They had regular names and they had regular like individual gimmicks and personas and personalities.
And they were featured as stars, as main event stars there.
But because they're part of Retribution now, of course they had to change their names, change their looks, change their
Of course,
gimmicks
of course.
in order to fit this.
Alright.
Joseph,
Okay, what is their name?
Give the names of everyone in Retribution.
I'll start with the...
Give their original names in their new
I know,
evil.
Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
I'm gonna run down the names right now. Okay. NXT superstar Dominik Dijakovic.
If you recognize, he's like this big ball, like sort of. Was he Russian or whatever?
Croatian or European or whatever.
Like
He's
you,
from Boston.
like very burly, strong dude. Like he was either like he played as a good guy and a bad guy, but like, everyone respects him because he's got he's got skills that kills. What's his?
He's angry and Russian.
His new name? T-Bar.
T-Bar.
His normal name is cooler.
The next wrestler, Dio Madden. He was actually not in NXT. He was actually, well, he was one of the talents for the Performance Center, but he used to be a Raw color commentator before they kicked him off the air. His name now?
Oh god, here we go.
Mace.
Really? That's it?
Well, yeah,
Just
yeah,
Mace?
like a swinging mace or the spray mace. Yeah.
Okay, Mace. What? Okay, fine. The third one.
Shane Thorne from Australia, another wrestler from NXT.
Mm-hmm.
His name is changed to Slapjack.
What the fuck? I'ma slap your jacks.
Like,
Your jacks are gonna get slapped, boy.
like, it sounds like something that you would do to some dude's scrotum. Oh, I'm gonna hit him with a slapjack. Whack.
Your jacks are gonna get slapped, boy. If you don't pay those bills, I'ma slap those jacks. Jack slapping. That's me, the jack slapper.
Spacer, she's losing her fucking mind on this. She's losing
Holy
her stuff.
Christ,
These
crap.
Stupid names. All right, but let's not forget this evil group of totally vandals that totally aren't an analogy of Black Lives Matter and trying not to discredit. It's equal opportunity. We have two ladies in Retribution.
All right.
Oh Christ, give me name. Give me names.
Fucking lose your shit on this.
All right. NXT star Mia Yim.
She's
I heard that name.
She's a gorgeous woman. She's like incredibly hardcore. Like she has a background outside of the WWE. And she's like a fucking powerhouse. What's her
Oh boy.
Her name is changed to Reckoning.
Okay, that's kind of a cool name.
All right.
Just a little bit, though.
Another NXT talent, Mercedes Martinez. She's one of the toughest workers in wrestling today. She is like one of the best technical wrestlers out there. What do they give her? Her name is now Retaliation.
A little on the nose. Honestly, this feels like what? This feels like what happened.
They're stupid facial masks that are only covering half their face and have bars on them that make them look like Bane. All right, and literally, almost to drive the point home, freaking the Dominik Dijakovic in his Twitter was trying to pick on people outside of wrestling, and he was using quotes from Bane. He was saying like, "You really adopted the dark. I was born it." Like,
You know what this feels like? It feels like that time when the comic books entered the dark age and every single hero had to be rebranded to be this edgy, over-the-top, 90s hardcore, badass motherfucker that nobody could mess with. Everybody had muscles bigger than their fucking brains, and everybody had 5 o'clock shadow. Even the women have 5 o'clock shadow. It was bananas. You know what we have to do? You know what we have to do to fight this, right?
what?
We need to have New Day beat them up while dressed like cops.
Oh, that is such a horrible analogy.
They would do it too.
Worse, even worse. The NXT Tag Team Champions, Fandango and Tyler Breeze
See.
would have to return as the fashion police.
Oh, that would be perfect. But let's be honest, this is clearly just another attempt to tag on the edge. Hello, estoy ocupado grabando algo.
Oh my god! Whoops.
Hey, ma.
Hi.
So anyway, as it stands,
Oh my god.
¿cómo está? Estamos en vivo, vaya, fuera de aquí. Anyways,
So, getting back onto something, yes, these are terrible names. This is a stupid idea. This is a stupid gimmick. But you know who was the biggest idiots of all? The talent who agreed to do it.
It's either that
I don't know, man.
these guys are
See, at the end of the day, they are just actors. There's a paycheck on it. They are just acting the part, and their job is to sell that part as hard as they can. I'm pretty sure there's a very long, stupid disclaimer, something on the lines of the opinions of blah 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 do not reflect the two opinions of something, etc., yada yada. Don't. That's just a payment.
But
If
the
they put a
problem
pay,
is that there's no long-term plans for these guys. In fact, it's reported that the WWE creative, they were just improvising this whole angle and doing everything on the fly.
then that just means that when it eventually doesn't cut on, they'll get quietly shuffled to the background and placed somewhere else. WWE does a lot of things, but they don't let go of talent that easily, do they? How easily are we talking about here? Do you think they can afford it at this point?
Yes.
Yes, they can. As a matter of fact, they save money doing that.
You went all like down, like you sound like you're underwater, Cecil.
They say
Hang on. He's saying that
No.
our volume went down.
No. It just everybody sounds like they're underwater all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's weird. How about now?
No, still underwater.
What about for me? Am I still underwater?
Yeah, I can understand you just fine, but you sound a little low on the side.
Give me a second.
All right, yeah. Well,
Okay, there we go. We're back.
Yeah, okay, good. Just want to give you a counterpoint, Angel. They can afford it. In fact, that's how they were able to make it their quarterly profit by releasing a whole bunch of wrestlers on April.
You remember how we were complaining about how they let a bunch of people
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, yes,
Shit.
They can afford it. They're not above it.
Then I guess it's all fucked for them if this doesn't catch on. Then.
Pretty much. But you know what? That's okay. Let's move on from the shitty news because we actually have some good shit to talk about.
All right, well,
Oh boy.
yeah, we're going to be moving away from the world of pro wrestling. We're going to be talking about some interesting news. One thing that we did kind of want to touch on was a discussion that Angel and I were having the other day regarding the news of the actor who plays the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, has basically left and will, like, in the physical role of the excellent Star Wars character, and he's moving to only doing voiceover for him moving forward in season 3 of The Mandalorian. And we're had actually had a discussion about this shit, and the whole reason why this guy left was because he wanted his face to be seen. He wanted to actually remove the helmet. A Mandalorian does not remove his helmet.
That is not the way, damn it.
Yeah, Boba Fett never did.
And the reason why we were introduced to Jango Fett in the prequel trilogy, in order to do it that way, was more of the like character driving on it. If the character has to appear without his face on, then that's just part of the story on there. But he's basically saying, like, no, I want my face to be part of the brand of the Mandalorian, not just the enigmatic, fully body armored, badass mofo babysitting Baby Yoda who became Space Pikachu for this franchise.
Actually, I believe that is one of the reasons why he was complaining about it. Space Pikachu and what's the name of the other actress? Gina what?
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano, who I swear to God can fold me in half like a chair by looking at me. They are getting a bit more screen time. They're getting a bit more screen time on this one. And apparently the actor wasn't satisfied with the fact that he's, pardon the pun, the face of what's literally one of the best things that Star Wars have produced ever. Like, everybody loves The Mandalorian. Even the most disillusioned, jaded fans that didn't care at all for the most recent movies or material, they are falling head over heels with this fantastic show. And this dude is complaining because his face is not showing up. Oh, and guess what I found out? He didn't talk to the director or the producer about it. He spoke to George Lucas when he was visiting the studio. So this man didn't have the cojones to speak to the staff about it. He decided to go to the main manager to complain about something the supervisor was doing.
Oh my god.
No.
Well, sound is gone. Never mind, sound is back.
All right. Let's say, yeah, no way, man.
Whether or not there might be plans in the long run for them to take the helmet off the Mandalorian, that remains for us to speculate. But
It is really disappointing because can you imagine blowing off? So many of us would kill to be in that man's shoes.
yeah, this
Like, you landed the gig on one of the best Star Wars productions with Jon Favreau directing shit, and people already love. Sorry, what?
Is this better?
Okay, one of you say something.
All right, I'm saying something right now. How do I sound?
Okay, it sounds. Juan, say something.
What about me? I sound things that are sound.
Getting that loud echo in the background again. I don't know why that keeps
That's 'cause
happening.
I was right up by the speaker. How about now?
Say something else.
Something else.
Still way too loud.
All right.
We'll have to look into that one later.
Just keep my voice down a little.
Yeah, just tolerate it.
Mm.
Like I said, it could be your headphones too.
No,
Possibly.
Yeah.
Now then,
But
can you imagine taking such an amazing role and wasting it over this?
it's
Like, how do you...
impatience from the actor? Like, what the hell?
You gotta start from the bottom. And it doesn't matter if people don't see your face. People will see your name. And I don't know you, but if I could put on my resume, I was the main character in The Mandalorian, I wouldn't give a shit what my face was there or not.
Yeah, no. I mean, what the hell? Like, he couldn't wait. Like, I don't know. For him to pull out after the second season is already done and wrapped up, it's just, man, it screams impatience, and it's so ridiculous. I'm sorry. It doesn't paint a good picture for the actor at all.
I
Exactly.
think I know what's up. Is this better?
Mhm.
But I
A little
understand-
better.
Yeah, but I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying, Angel. Like, in certain cases, when it, like, depending on the story and depending on the lore, you know, when it like main characters can actually get over without having to show their face. I mean, to throw an example, and Angel, you can help me here. Goblin Slayer.
Yeah,
Goblin
That's a
Slayer
good one,
is
Roger.
popular, and he never takes his damn helmet off at all.
even the one time he took it off, his face was mostly hidden, so he just kind of looks like a hentai protagonist.
Exactly.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter. As of now, and I've been keeping up with the Noble, he still hasn't taken off the damn helmet.
Wancho?
Yeah, actually, like I totally agree with this, and actually, sticking more to the Star Wars parallels, we were actually like showing this, like Angel and I were discussing this shit. Anthony Daniels, the man who played C-3PO in every single one of the movies, who
The
lent
myth.
his voice in everything, he never once said, "Oh, I should go ahead and not have the helmet on so people can see that I'm a man inside this robot." No! You know what they did? You know what he actually did? He was perfectly... Yep. Oh, so now I'm loud? Okay.
Too loud. Calm down.
All right, yeah, just calm down, bring it down
What
to
he-
my
Yeah,
level.
when the
he did
volume
was
of the voice goes
he-
above eventually out, it gets too scratchy. I can barely hear what's going on.
Okay, sorry about that. You know, we gotta figure this out. Okay. What
We
he
will.
did was, he was perfectly content with being like, okay, I would like to be an actor with more FaceTime and be able to emote and show my face and all, but this is the part that I'm in. And people love the character, and I love him too because he's such a weird little guy. He's a fussy butler in space, and he's a robot. So sure. While they were filming the prequel movies, in Episode 2 specifically, they went to him. They went to Ahmed Best, the man who plays Jar Jar Binks, and they said, "Hey, would you guys like to be in a bit role for us?" What? Oh, we're doing a nightclub scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan are chasing down the assassin woman, and they go into a nightclub on Coruscant, and we just need to fill out the place. Would you guys like to go into a costume and just, like, be background guys and have your face shown? What? What? Get the fuck over here. Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, no.
They put him in, like, and they put him in these dorky little, like, fancy military suits. I showed you the photo, Angel. Anthony Daniels, he had, like, this little... like sort of like marching band suit with a giant hat with a giant fucking feather on it.
Yeah.
And,
It was glorious.
and they even gave him and Ahmed Best's character, who are just guys in the background flirting with bitches, and Anakin Skywalker just walks by them, and the girls completely ignore them from that point on, and they see Anakin instead because he's a cute little Jedi boy. And they gave these guys like names and backgrounds, and oh, they're a pair of con artists that they dress up like very important military guys just to get access to funky clubs and get money and score, you know, scam some chicks or whatever.
And in that
But
regard,
guess who else they got in
worked
that
as-
cameo screw?
Yeah.
What's
And
up?
that-
Hold on, Angel. You
Okay,
sort of
the-
cut out for a moment. You froze.
So did you. The video lagged there for King Crimson is here. Anyway, that wasn't the only person they got in there for those cameos that you showed me. We had none other than the original actor of Jar Jar Binks in there in all his glory, black
he
suited
just said that,
glory.
Yes, I'm at best.
Yes.
And of course, That wasn't the only person we got there, didn't we?
No, that's right.
George was there too, wasn't he?
In episode 3, in Revenge of the
Yeah.
Sith, you had George Lucas himself, along with his daughter. They basically said, like, okay, we're doing an opera house scene, where the scene where Anakin and Palpatine talk about Darth Plagueis, and he's going to go into his private box. We just need someone to look resplendent and regal and everything. How would you, Mr. Lucas, please put on blue makeup for us and look like a dignitary? And Luke is like,
Sure.
well, I don't know really the kind of guy who goes, shut up,
Eventually he did it.
sir, just give him the fucking makeup boost. Oh, God.
And he did it, and it worked, but those cases, they were background characters. The point to all this is, you can still be a cinematic icon. You can still be recognizable to the viewers, whether you show your face or not, whether it's real life or animated. Not once did we see Jean Arc of Ruby, to throw another example. He's an animated character, and we never, ever, ever see him wear a helmet, and he didn't need a helmet. And he got over with everybody.
There's also the fact that he probably didn't want to model a helmet for him. That's 3D
It's
modeling
too
is
bad that we're
hard.
not going to get the voice actor for very long.
Oh, that's
Oh!
right. What happened with the voice actor of Jean Arc?
I believe
It appears
Angel
that
showed me
Miles
this piece of
Luna, writer
information,
and
so-
voice actor of John Arc, will be retiring from the show after this season because he will no longer be working directly with Rooster Teeth. This most likely means that Ruby is going to be the last season that we'll see him, or this might just be the last season at all, which is kind of sad because he was one of the characters that I actually liked of that show. But oh well, can't have them all. I suppose.
Or something we didn't think of, or they'll replace him with somebody else.
That is also a possibility. It's not like it hasn't been done before. Oh, that reminds me. Fantastic little thing went down regarding the issue with the Mandalorian. So once again, I still can't believe this guy decided not to do that gig. He wasn't even doing that much work. The stunt doubles were doing most of the work. If you told me that the only thing I had to do was get in the suit, look brooding, and say some sick one-liners every now and then, I would be 100% whatever. You know what? His decision, his consequences.
Yeah, and you know what? And on that same regard, Miles Luna has made his own choice. I think the last time the voice actor was mentioned on social media was when he openly criticized the attire of Tifa Lockhart from the Final Fantasy VII remake, and he got a whole bunch of backlash for it.
He got his neck broken for that one. And it doesn't help that his apology was the saddest non-apology I've ever seen in my life. But then again, this is Rooster Teeth. I have long ceased to receive good news from them at this point. That being said, though, that reminds me of one hilarious little anecdote reminding the particular issue with Miss Gina Carano specifically. Regarding the Mandalorian now, as you know, Miss Gina received quite a good reception for her portrayal of the character in the Mandalorian. She's very well loved. But apparently about a week ago, some severe controversy sparked because she, and get this bullshit, she refused to put her pronouns on her profile.
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah.
People were
That's it.
crapping on her for it, like, oh, no, because actually, no, what she wound up doing as a little harmless gag, she put down as her pronouns as beep, boop, beep.
No, it began with her not putting any pronouns. Then when they ask her, how come you don't put pronouns while the other starts, she goes, I don't want to, it's my personal preference. And they fucking went off. Dude, I read some of the tweets. I read some of the stuff they told her. You think they were fucking pissed at Ross Tycho? They were screaming for this woman to get fired just because she has the preference of, hey, shut the fuck up, I don't want to put them there.
Yeah, seriously.
So-
If she doesn't want to put it there, then she doesn't have to put it there. What the fuck? Nobody's twisting
Like,
her arm
it's
to
a
do
pre-
so.
Like, I totally understand it's a preference and it helps other folks, especially folks who are in the LGBT community, who are wanting their preferred pronouns to be put out. That's cool. If you have a preference, go ahead and let us know. If you don't have a preference, or if you want us to just go by what's implied from your outward appearance, that's fine too. Just, what the fuck? Don't force people into doing it.
Please
out of their own free
remember,
will.
ladies, gentlemen, and in between, please remember this very important lesson. The world can accept you, and if you try well enough, the world can respect you. But you cannot force the world to like you, and you cannot force the world to think like you. The sooner you understand that, the sooner people will actually give a shit about what you have to say and think.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Word.
Ms. Carano, after receiving what basically amounts to a harassment campaign, changed her pronouns to beep, boop, beep, and essentially told everybody else to fuck off in the most polite way possible. And I, for once, applaud her decision. Because you would think that a community that focuses so much on the power of choice will allow that woman to choose whatever she damn well pleases. Now, thankfully, the majority of them are not like that, and that particularly loud vocal minority was well called out by the rest of the community for their bullshit. But still, come on, guys.
Oh no,
You-
make no
you-
mistake.
you can't stop-
We're weeding out the petty. We're weeding out the petty hypocrites who.
Come
who
on,
don't
guys.
think
You
we're
can't be
really
jumping at shadows and assuming that the entire world is your enemy just because they don't behave exactly the way you want to. Isn't that the very reason that you were trying to obtain equality to begin with? Surely the hypocrisy must be apparent. But I digress. Point in case is, the screaming and the shouting and the bitching and the whining achieve nothing, and she's still there.
Yes. And
Unlike the actor for The Mandalorian, who apparently decided that he wasn't good enough, and he fucking walked.
And
That's just depressing, man.
on the subject of actors walking out, Angel, like I know this was days since you brought it up to me. Has there been any more additional details as to Miles Luna leaving Rooster Teeth?
Aside from that, let's see if they have released anything, actually. I haven't had a chance to look into this here.
No, it's okay.
Give-
Well, regardless,
see,
again, I don't think they're going to kill off Jean. I think they're going to have him progress with a different voice actor. They did it for Crow's character, who was recently voiced by Vic Mignogna, and then they gave him the boot and picked somebody else to voice him, which I will say, not bad.
He did a pretty good job so far. And let's see, checking here. I'm trying to see if I can find some more information. Announcement, blah, 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 blah. No, it appears that he will continue to voice John and write for Ruby. He's just not working for Rooster Teeth anymore. So but his contract is still there. It says that he's branching towards video game writing. So it appears that John ain't gonna die just yet.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. Hey,
The little pissant ought to die. All he does is fawn over a dead chick.
Hey, he actually went through some serious development in Volume 7. Angel, back me up.
Actually, he was the only one that went through any character development at all. Ruby's still the same. Do you know that Blake and Ruby haven't had a single conversation since Volume 3?
No, they haven't. They haven't. The last conversation is when Yang basically told her, I don't want to talk anymore. Leave me alone.
No, see, this is the problem. It looks like they're pretty much decided who's gonna be with who, and Yang has become like 50% of Blake, and Blake has become 50% of Yang, and no one cares about Sun, and that's a shame because Sun was a cool dude. But yeah, no, let's be honest, Ruby has his problems writing, but the biggest problem is the fact that the team doesn't seem to behave like a team most of the time. Team Ranger over here is actually having more teamwork than whatever.
You know
It's
what,
dumb.
Angel? It's okay. It's okay because two things. Number one, Volume 8, hopefully they'll repair some of the leaks that they left in the pipes.
Just to hoping, because this bucket is pouring water like my bladder.
Number 2, there are other shows that are coming out very soon to look forward to. In fact, one, I think you shared a little a golden gem not long ago.
It wasn't a show, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a limited series event.
Oh.
Lupin the Third.
Oh. I do so love that show.
God,
I plan to get my hands on that 3D movie when I get the chance to. It looks fantastic.
It's like a 3D movie, like limited event kind of thing. It's a standalone movie based on the same manga, based on the same anime. Everyone's favorite master thief, the master criminal Lupin the Third, getting a nice little a boost for the modern kids, the kids who don't know about the glory of the escapades this guy got into.
May Monkey Punch rest in peace. His creation will to the fandoms.
Indeed, brother. Holy cow! Like your video keeps freezing. Like
Because King Crimson is using its power and I can't control it yet. I'm sorry.
When is the release date for?
I'm actually gonna go ahead and look that up.
Yeah,
Or
but-
maybe Angel's gonna beat me to
Lupin
it.
the Third.
Maybe is it going to be released on like Netflix or?
Hang on.
Because it'd be cool
Let's
if it was on
see.
Netflix. I could use it.
December 6th. Wait, no, that already. No, it already came out.
Oh, right.
How long ago?
December 6, 2019. It's just now it's getting like international distribution.
Oh!
Jesus, that took
the
forever.
First is the name of the anime. It's a nice little 90-minute long film, and yeah, no, it's gonna be. It finally made its way stateside. So
May I say, for for the previews that I've seen, they have managed to take 3D animation to imitate the Looney Tunes-esque like stretch and squash of. It's perfect. It is the perfect transition between 3D and 2D. It is genuinely what cartoons would look like in 3D. Just, goddamn, the animation is so beautiful, guys.
Okay, so apparently I'm looking over the details on it right now. Let's see. May 2020 release in South Korea. Let's see, Brazil, Anime Factory of Kochi Media, Italia, agreed to release it in February. However, COVID-19 has temporarily halted any new releases in Italy. At the 2020 Annecy in Annecy, France, the movie was presented in digital format. It was released in France on December 16th of this year via Eurozoom. And G-Kids agreed to a theatrical release in North America in the latter months of 2020. So that'll be...
That ain't happening anytime soon, let me tell you.
Not anytime soon, but when it does happen, it's going to be glorious. Hey, Angel, remember how you told me that one of your favorite animes of all time was Sword Art Online?
In what universe was that?
Okay, I just
Who
smacked
decided
his A
that?
for you. You're good.
Thank you.
Oh, no, because there's some great news. They're coming out with a new series called Sword Art Online Progressive.
Progressive, really?
Oh, yes!
They couldn't even come up with their own original sequel title. That's a rip off the Fully Cooley one.
Hang on, is this gonna be the sequel that continues the story of Adalization that ends with a girl literally shipping herself to Kirito's house in a crate?
Oh,
No,
no,
I'm not
here-
kidding. That actually happened.
I have the
I
information
remember
right
that.
here.
I hate it.
Hang on. Let's see. I have it. Let's see here.
I want
Alright,
to die
it
right
was
now.
subsequently shared to the official Sword Art Online anime Twitter account with a brief 15-second teaser saying that the series will debut on November 6th of 2022. So 2 more years.
2 years to worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. We've got time, Angel.
Every
Yes,
now
one
and
or two
then,
things are gonna
I am
happen.
reminded of the sheer shit taste of the general public because things like this still
Angel,
exist in this
it's,
world.
It's gonna be okay. Do you know why?
Because I'll be dead by then.
Either that or everyone's gonna be dead by then and no one's
Yay.
never gonna come out. Or
Good.
the fandom is going to just dwindle in self-destruction to the point where nobody is going to be interested in it. You got to remember, the anime audience is a very fickle being.
Yeah.
They
But
will
Japan-
eat you alive.
But
If you
Japan and their obsession with self-inserting will never get tiresome. I love Japan's, but there are some aspects of their culture that drive me up the fucking wall, my dude.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this ain't it. Well, thankfully, we won't have to worry about this for at least another 2 years. We've got time. It's going to be okay.
Every
far
time
as
I hear
what
that Sword Art
progressive-
Online exists, I wish my mother would swallow me.
As far as what Progressive is about, it details here on this website. It doesn't retread Kirito and Asuna's story. Instead, it provides significantly more details as Kirito and Asuna scale the first 100 floors of Ankrad in the first
Oh.
arc.
So it's not even a sequel. It's a spin-off.
Sort of. It tells more. It's gonna go into more detail of how Kirito and Asuna made it all the way up to those levels because we didn't see that in the original, did we?
Oh, so it's concentrated on them still. So it's even worse. We just got a reboot.
No, more like an interquel kind of thing.
Ugh.
Like an in-between. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. Is Kirito still broken as fuck?
He never stopped being
Well,
broken
is
as fuck. He gets
Asuna-
worse
is
later.
Asuna still simping on him? And yes,
Oh,
women
like-
are allowed to simp. Hashtag women are simps too. Hashtag feminism.
Well, to be fair, Asuna is not a simp because she got the dick. She got the man. She got piped down for 48 hours straight. All the other girls are the ones that are simping.
Yes.
They are the ones giving money to Kirito's OnlyFans.
Yes, you know what? He won. He freaking won.
Fucking tier 3
wish I'm
subscriber bullshit.
Can I spike my Mountain Dew, please?
If you want to spike your Mountain Dew, go right ahead, man. But yeah, no, this series is set to come out on November 6, 2022. It's going to detail the journeys, the struggles of how they scaled through the levels in their first game arc. Because apparently, like, we didn't see how they did it in the first arc, did we?
I always assumed that they didn't. I just assumed that they stayed in that cabin fucking for a whole week, and then they just climbed the floors after everybody cleared up for them.
But
And
now
while
we
everybody
get to
was
see
getting
whether
killed
they
by the
did or
bots.
not.
They were fucking while they were climbing the tower. It's not the actual series is just hentai. Progressive stands for fucking. See, you gotta get to know the characters. That way you care about them when they get railed.
No, well, yeah. Okay, in all the arcs of Sword Art Online, at least the first arc, the very first arc, was more engaging than the others.
Well, yes, but that's not really a high bar to clear, you know?
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's-
like saying the toe I stopped is slightly less painful than the arm that broke.
It's not a high bar, it's just standard.
It's a bar.
It's a bar.
It's not too high, it's not too low. It's just kind of there, you know.
I mean, I enjoyed the first arc.
Okay.
I'm not gonna fault you for enjoying it. I just
You
can't get
gotta
over
rem-
that shit, man.
Okay, you gotta remember, this is all based on, like, a virtual reality video game world where you can digitize a soul! and
Thankfully, they're not following that.
And 350 million people died on the first day of the game or something
Dude.
stupid like that?
The fact that somehow the VR gaming industry remain both like increasing in growth and famous after day one killed 4,000 people.
Oh, 4,000. Okay, that's better, I guess.
4,000 people die on day one. This somehow doesn't shut down every single fucking VR industry in the world.
Like, oh, it's not a bug, it's a feature. See, people are supposed to die. No, they're not.
And then the creator of the game was,
that
no,
sells
yeah, they
cell phone
were.
human death ought to be shot in the face.
Maybe, yeah, like either people are stupid or the creator of this game really knows how to do damage control.
Jesus Christ.
Well, thankfully, we don't live in that stupid world. Thankfully, we
Every
don't have
now and then I am reminded that there is no God.
No, it's okay. Because the levels of stupidity and the level of craziness that happens when it comes to the video game industry don't reach that levels of human mortality. Thankfully, we just have to deal with craziness like Bethesda Softworks being bought out by Microsoft entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
The good times are coming
I'm
soon.
smooth with my segues. They see me rolling. They hate
Right.
All right.
control and they
You
tryna get
smooth
me
criminal.
dirty.
Now let's talk some data, shall we? This is coming from the geekwire.com website to explain exactly what went down here.
Yes, please.
So, as recently known, Microsoft started working by announcing that they plan to purchase ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda Softworks, for $7.5 billion. Bethesda, in turn, has spent the last two console generations grabbing every single intellectual property they can get their hands on. So it's like a double sale. It's like a Matryoshka doll. Bethesda has been grabbing all the titles it can, and then Microsoft grabbed Bethesda, which means that they get all the stuff Bethesda gets, including, but not limited to, the Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, etc., Doom, Wolfenstein, Dishonored, Fallout, Prey, Evil Within, and all sorts of shit.
Also,
Now.
shit, by which you mean Mass Effect series as well.
That's
Like you
right.
said Wolfenstein, right?
No. The Mass Effect series is with BioWare,
Yeah,
which is a
Mass
completely different thing.
Bioware.
My bad.
Now, Bethesda has admittedly a mixed reputation, mainly because they have released Skyrim on everything that can possibly hold electricity, right down to my grandpa's peace fucking maker. And the fact that their recent attempts to make games like Fallout 76 and their most recent Wolfenstein have been dubious
satisfying.
in their quality. That being
Yeah.
said, the majority of independent studios that work with them, those are doing fucking bangers. The Ender Scroll, Doom Eternal, for example, has done fantastically. Today has been one of those moments of the defining ninth generation of games because so far this is the biggest power move any of the three companies have done so far. Now, that means that they have gone into what amounts to essentially a buying spree, and now they have a whole bevy of titles. And now, what does this mean? Does this mean that now Bethesda can only publish for Microsoft? Does this mean that the games are only exclusive to the Xbox? That is very likely. That is extremely likely. It is possible Bethesda will still be allowed to use its third-party studios to, put things on a different platform. But the way I'm looking at it right now, is very likely that most of the stuff they post is going to be either on Microsoft exclusive, or it will be on Xbox and on PC. But aside from that, it looks like we're not going to get Doom for the PlayStation anymore.
I'm afraid not. You're probably right about that. Then again, with this sort of movement, like, can we really expect any sort of leeway on this? Because you got to remember, these companies, these publishers, these manufacturers, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, they don't exist exclusive to themselves. They license with each other. When the PS3 came out and Blu-ray technology clearly overran everything else, every video game that was put out on the Xbox 360 as well was also inscribed on Blu-ray, meaning the Blu-ray tech had to be licensed out to other game manufacturers that were using that tech. They just needed to get like a little extra scratch for their trouble. So
Yes.
just like how Sony made banger money on just, oh hey, you've got a great game, you want to put it out, fine, go ahead, put it on your platform, that's perfectly okay. What are you going to record it on? Huh? What are you going to record it on? Are you going to put it on a DVD disc? That shit only carries about 7 gigs, if you're lucky. Why don't you try our Blu-ray disc?
I was expecting you to say K afterwards. Just
Now, to be fair,
because it looked like you were mimicking Dr. Hutchinson from Rocco's Modern Life when she twists her neck.
But
now, to be fair here, as we know, Microsoft has not exactly been winning the console race lately. Nintendo is on the side because they always post the same thing, and Sony has been pulling ahead with a bevy of really good titles, and the most recent reveal of the PlayStation 5 that has had everybody kind of scrambling in a 50-50 revenge. But here's one thing that everybody keeps forgetting. Microsoft seems to have a seemingly infinite budget. People keep forgetting this, but Sony, aside from its gaming division, doesn't really have much going on.
except
Nintendo
for, like,
is
entertainment
nothing but
technology.
a gaming division. Microsoft is fucking everywhere. And
They
as a
have
result,
unlimited capital.
Almost.
yeah, they may not have all the titles, but they have the cash to acquire titles. So this means that essentially by virtue of getting their hands on that studio alone, Microsoft has acquired a massive leg up on the grounds that they have all these franchises to themselves. And now they can apply the ever cruel tactic of scalping the exclusives. You want them? You gotta get a Microsoft machine, baby.
That's true, but you also have to think these guys are not fools when it comes to how like keeping exclusivity might wind up driving down their purchases, because there's going to be folks who are going to hold out. And you're saying that that Sony doesn't have much in terms of other revenues. Sony also has film studios,
Which are
Sony
garbage.
has technology based stuff. You know, Sony televisions, cameras, all sorts of entertainment items that you can get. Sony, like they were the ones who invented the Walkman. They're the ones who invented the portable MP3 players.
They're not limited to the PlayStation.
So that's true. They're not just for video games. So
True, but Microsoft is not limited either. But measured by market capitalization, I'm looking it up, Microsoft is bigger than Sony. Market cap is approximately 243 billion, while Sony's market cap is only 11.5 billion.
ouch,
Microsoft is 20 times bigger capital-wise than Sony.
ouch.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure the only reason Microsoft cannot buy Sony is because Sony is refusing to sell, but we cannot underestimate it. In the name of numbers, Microsoft simply has too much cash to throw around compared to them. And you are correct. Sony has other industries, but they just don't compare. In case you forget, the last thing the Sony industry did for movies was the Emoji Movie. Guess how well that went. So,
There's
yeah,
another
I'm not
thing
saying
that
that's-
Sony had done with the movie industry.
Yeah.
It's this really tiny thing. I know that you're probably not even really could have counted.
Which
It's this little. It's a little independent project. They call it Spider-Man fucking Homecoming.
How can you forget
Let's see that.
Spider-Man?
You gotta remember, they fronted the money for it, and they
Yeah.
and they had to pay Disney in order to keep like Spidey in the MCU. But they're the
And
ones
Marvel.
who put out the production on it, and it made gangbusters. So did Far From
Yes.
Home. You gotta remember, like,
One movie.
two.
Okay, 2 movies, which is
And
what
Spider-Man Into the
compare.
Spider-Verse, I'm just saying.
And how much of that money goes back into the marketing team and the developer team and the graphical team and Marvel Studios
Same with
and Disney itself.
the
Make
same
no
argument
mistake.
can be made for the video game companies. They don't always break even.
True. The point is, I'm not saying they have to break even. I'm saying that right now, Microsoft has so much money, it doesn't matter.
That's cool.
Microsoft's seemingly infinite budget allowed them to grab a studio and basically eat it alive and absorb it into itself like a disgusting green X-shaped amoeba that tastes like Doritos and fucking Mountain Dew.
So if Microsoft has unlimited capital, they have all this money, they make all these cool computers, how come they can't make a really good game console?
Oh, nobody said they could. Point in case is, right now, I'm not saying Microsoft is winning.
Microsoft, and yet they can't bring out a good Xbox game console without to save their lives.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One, or the Xbox One S?
I'm talking about the.
Exactly. No, Angel and I were talking about this earlier today before we went on air. Like, you better believe that because Microsoft doesn't know how to brand and market the progression of their consoles properly, you're going to have a massive fuck ton of refunds and returns. That's gonna make their shit churn like a motherfucker. GameStop is going to have a second renaissance on returns and exchanges alone for this shit. You better believe that.
Hang on, I gotta look it up. I gotta see the actual name of it. Give me a moment so I can tell you exactly how many are there out there.
Yeah, by all means. But yeah, it should be noted, and it's also ironic that while Sony doesn't have this, is not in the same level of capital as Microsoft, they're still producing excellent gaming consoles that we all enjoy, and they're right now sitting at the top of the mountain of the video gaming industry. Whereas on the other side of the spectrum, Microsoft, which they have an unlimited capital, lots of money, as Angels has previously detailed, and yet they still couldn't make a really good game console to market to.
All right, here we go. So we have the Xbox original, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S.
Okay.
And on top of that, we also have the Xbox One X. So right now, this thing has approximately 5 consoles, all with different names, and 2 of them are so dangerously close to one another that the stock price of one of the reasons why it's easier to get a pre-order for an Xbox One X is because people keep buying the wrong one by accident.
I think Microsoft's cutoff time for making good consoles ended with the Xbox One.
We need to fire whoever came up with these stupid console names, and I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Excuse me.
Like, it was easy. Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox 720, Xbox 1080. You know, here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
But
there we go.
Yeah, it's all good.
That for now.
Angel will be back in a couple of minutes, but yeah.
There. We'll switch to this for now to give Angel a little more leeway over here.
I'm sure this is not going to affect the video gamers who are fans of the Microsoft consoles because they love everything has an audience. I'm sure Microsoft, they have their fans, they have their Xbox fans, so they're not going to care as long as they get their gaming experience.
You're not wrong, but like at the same time, like you've got to understand that people are still like panicky and finicky about the fact that Bethesda got just swallowed up. And I like the amoeba analogy that Angel gave, but I was thinking more along the lines of the mutated Trapper Keeper from South Park. That, like, it's from an old episode of South Park where Cartman had this Trapper Keeper that assimilates other technology.
I remember.
It's like, it's the Dawson's Creek fucking Trapper Keeper. That shows you how dated it is. Like, okay, and like, oh yeah, let me see your scientific calculator. A Trapper Keeper, absorb calculator, and it freaking grabs it
pretty
with
much.
his tendrils.
Just the Akira style amorphous blob of console mass.
I don't want to wait for my
I don't want to wait for my Xbox to pre-order. But no, seriously. I'm genuinely expecting the next Xbox to just be a fucking symbiote shaped like a box, and it will begin to eat your electronics as it agrees to acquire more processing power. And I gotta be honest with you guys, in between this and the somewhat dodgy announcements on the PS5, I'm really happy that I'm saving for a gaming PC. Because I gotta be honest with you, PlayStation has kept me going. PlayStation has kept me going, but now it's just kind of disappointing me because I'm not gonna get into that because we're talking about the Xbox now. But some of the announcements of the PlayStation 5 are a little sus. Let's just say it at that.
Oh no, you can bring it up right now. We have a couple of minutes, don't we?
Yeah, of course. Like, talk about it, man.
Yeah. So
Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Yeah. You mean Virgil May Cry 5 Virgil Edition?
Virgil May Cry 5 featuring Virgil and his 10-minute long fucking things. Okay, be honest with me, Joe. How many times have you listened to Bury the Light?
Not enough. I need to listen to it more.
That's right. That's the correct answer. See, the problem is, PlayStation 4 is getting Virgil. PlayStation 5 is getting Virgil plus Turbo Mode plus Dark Knight Mode. PC is just getting Virgil. For some retarded reason, Capcom is giving us the DLC for Virgil completely fucking disjointed. Like, some consoles are getting only one aspect, the others are getting two. Why doesn't the PC get everything? I mean, they can handle it. They have the processing power.
Could this be a move to try and get video gamers enticed to purchase the PlayStation 5?
Most definitely. Also, another problem. Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Yeah.
If you get it for PS5, you can get the original game packaged with it. No save transfer. If you want it for PS4, you gotta get it separate. Like, there's just this disjointed idea of, we got all these titles for PS5, but if you want them for PC or PS4, we're gonna just send you pieces of it. And I'm like, now you're just fucking with me.
Yeah.
And I know what this is. This is the company basically going, money, because this is how companies work. But I'm getting real tired of getting scalped by the companies, man.
I know
You
what
know,
you mean. My head's
So I think I'm just
racing.
gonna switch to a gaming PC and get everything. And if I can get everything for sale, I'll get everything for free.
Well, that's good.
I'm not gonna say anything if you don't.
Me neither. Me
My
neither,
flag will sail high. I will hoist my flag mightily, Moitis.
I guess
Regardless,
even
I'd rather
Sony-
not resort to that if I can help it. You know, I like to pay the developers for the job. If they gave me a good game, I want to pay them for the game because that means more good games. But fuck, man. Give me a full title next time. Getting real sick and tired of this shit.
Yeah,
The
I know.
piecemealing about it is kind of a pain in the ass. So I get.
I'm listening to Bury the Light right now on the other headset. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know, I get it. I guess even Sony would.
Alone.
No, it's not Sony falling
Oh no,
victim.
that's Sony, but the
is
game developers.
No, it's not them falling victim. It's the companies that are publishing these games trying to wheedle out as much as possible in order to assuage their lords and masters, the game console designers, the game companies themselves.
I knew some shit was dodgy when they announced the fucking thing with the Mario anniversary, and turns out they didn't even remaster the games. They just took an emulator, a crappy one at that, and just emulated the games into the console.
Why am I not surprised?
With
Like,
all
we're
of the
so
problems.
excited for it too. Like, hey, I finally have a reason to get a Switch. I'll be able to play the old games that I hadn't had the chance to.
No! Fuck
Why?
you! Because you have a gaming PC. Just download that shit, man.
Why?
You have a gaming... You're looking at a PC right now.
Yes, I am.
There you go. Download that shit. The
When did you come
consoles...
to this revelation that owning a gaming PC is much better for you?
Well, I pretty much came to the revelation a while ago. I just kept staying with PlayStation because I like the exclusives. But if they're going to fuck me over this hard with the exclusives, I'm just going to go to PC. Say what you will about the arrogance of the PC master race. But at least when the Steam sale comes around, I'm guaranteed to get myself something good. You know what I mean?
I can see your
Fair
point.
point.
It's just so tiresome, you know?
And I
Thank
can
you, I
actually
appreciate
vouch
it.
for Angel. I have proof. I am a witness. I did watch a bit of the gameplay of Super Mario Sunshine. That's part of the package for the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, there wasn't much difference in the animation.
You think they would at least touch the graphics, make it look nicer, expand the screen to 1080p, 60 frames per second?
Which
Fucking
wasn't a
hell,
problem
then
because
again.
the GameCube and the Nintendo Wii, which those were like the exclusives for, like those had upscaling capabilities. The GameCube had the RGB video system, and it had progressive scan. It was able to be formatted for progressive scan television sets from when high definition was starting to get built up. And the Wii had the same thing. They just didn't have HDMI shit.
You know what the problem is?
What?
That is what, see, all companies have their problems. Nintendo's problem has always been the same. Well, two problems. The first one, it takes them fucking forever to innovate the technology. It took them like 3 consoles to get close to the level. Well, the Switch is as strong as a PS3, I think. It takes them a while to get there. And more importantly, Nintendo has a really nasty habit of over-relying on the second-hand market. You notice how their games are always the ones that remain at $60 and at $60, no matter how many times they get sold and resold and oversold and repackaged and sold again?
Yeah.
That's how Nintendo works. They scalp the amount of games they can send. They keep the amount limited, and they always keep the price high, no matter how many times the game gets sold and resold. That's how they make their money back. And they have grown so dependent on that shit that
Ugh.
it hurts.
God.
Because you can feel that they are fucking you over.
Like,
They
it's like-
fuck you at the drive-thru.
It's like what you mentioned over here, like they fall behind on there. The game cartridges for the Nintendo Switch are 32 gigs.
Yep.
Everything is set at 32 gigs. Like you mentioned, that's like PS3 levels and stuff. You can have, and I have, 128 gigabytes on a micro SD card. If I can get that, and if I can or get that shit for my photos and videos, then Nintendo can definitely have 128 gigs or at least 64 gigs game cartridges for their video games to be in as high resolution or to have as many features and customization as possible. I totally get it that you want to keep the actual console itself, the little tablet that they have. That's the base of the Switch.
Yeah.
It is.
And keep that like compact and portable. But there comes a time when they can catch up with the like processing capabilities of other consoles. The GameCube, when it came out, I remember you'll see this one sticker right in front of the front face of it, it has like it says power core like a processor by ATI, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Like, how much you want to bet that Nintendo was screaming, clawing, and scratching because they had to rely on a third-party processor in order to get this shit to work.
Losing their crap.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you will about how bad Sega died, but at least they have better practices than this. Mamá, por favor, estoy grabando. Estoy grabando, porque tú tienes que hacerme esto ahora.
Well, you know what? Like, at the end of it all, like when it comes to this shit, Nintendo does need to step up. But when it comes to these other gaming companies like Microsoft and Sony, like you said, Microsoft, it seems like they've reached that threshold of too big to fail. You gotta be careful with that because that's
you know who else said that? Disney, and look what's happening to them right now.
That's usually the point where you need to start panicking when it comes to that shit.
What they need to understand is that there is no such thing as too big to fail.
Exactly.
Do or do not, there is no try kind of shit. Oh, by the way, we're getting a live. In case that the Mulan remake wasn't a disappointment and big enough to kill your joy for the things that you once loved, we're getting another live-action rendition of Peter Pan.
Why? I heard.
Tinkerbell is a black chick now for some reason.
Well, Tinkerbell, right? Yeah. Cool.
She's black now.
Okay, whatever.
Man,
So,
why are all these characters getting blackwashed all of a sudden? First we had red hair erasure, now there's just blonde erasure. Why do they want to take the tiny blonde bombshell away from us? Why do they gotta do this to us? More importantly though, we all know how this is gonna go. It's going to be extremely serious, really stupid, barely any humor, extremely progressive, and boring as fuck. You know what? There's only one live action Peter Pan movie in my heart, and it's called Hook.
Yes.
And so far, no live action that Disney has ever made has come near close to the majesty of Robin Williams fighting Rufio.
No,
Nothing.
Not fighting Rufio, fighting of Jonathan Price.
it was
No,
Jonathan
nothing.
Price.
Who was it?
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin
Hoffman,
goddamn Hoffman. Point in case.
Hey, we both got
Point
it
in
wrong.
cases.
You both suck. No,
Point in
Dante
cases.
Basco was Rufio, and Dante
I
Basco
know.
brought us honor in that film.
He brought honor to us all, unlike the Mulan movie, which brought me boredom. God, that movie was so bad. I'm not gonna get into that right now. Point in cases, you guys noticed that not a single live action remake has come any close to Hook at all? And I watched them all. By the way, The Lion King, boring as shit.
I saw clips of it.
Bro, I don't know what happened with the songs. They got the songs, but it's like, remember Be Prepared, how good that song is and how good it builds up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what they told the actor of Scar, but that man doesn't sing until the end. He basically, I want you to watch the live action version of Be Prepared. The poor guy mumbles his way through the song until he gets to the last line where he belts out the most magnificent opera scream I ever seen. And I just go, why weren't you doing that for the rest of the song? You clearly can sing. Come on, man. This is not Emma Watson and the auto-tune machine from Beauty and the Beast. You can do it. He didn't do it. Honestly, the only good parts of that movie were Timon and Pumbaa because the actors were like comedians and they got to improv a little bit, so you can feel a bit more back and forth going on in there. But aside from that, it's the best one they've done so far, and it's like a 7 out of 10. It's kind of
But you know what? Yeah, but it doesn't matter because, hell, the Lion King movie is still marketable and they still made a lot of money.
No, I'm sticking with the animated one, and I'm gonna go ahead and get The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. Just be fucking cuz.
Yeah!
Fun fact. You guys know who directed the live-action Lion King, right?
Who?
John Favreau.
Oh!
Yeah.
Now I wish my Mountain Dew was spiked.
See, apparently the reason why he just basically what he needed to do this so they would let him direct the Mandalorian. So he just basically just went through it. You can tell the man.
And swallowed his pride.
You can tell the man wasn't putting much effort into this one. He just wanted to get it done and get it out because. See, that's the sacrifice. To get the Mandalorian, we had to suffer through a dull, boring Lion King movie. You can tell his attention just... I mean, make no mistake. Technically, the movie looks good. Yeah. And it doesn't deviate from the actual movie itself, but you can tell that nobody's really putting too much soul into it. You know, it's like... The effort is there, but it feels like a token effort. It feels like the definition of whatever. These people will buy whatever the hell we put in front of them, you know?
Pretty much.
It feels like... It feels like it's factory made, off the assembly line. You know, it's not
like
handcrafted.
Autopilot.
Yeah, it's not handcrafted. It was made by robots assembling
in.
cars in fucking Taiwan or something.
Autopilot, phoned in.
Exactly.
Unoriginal.
We have not seen a good live-action adaptation of anything Disney since Hook. And I dare any of our viewers to actually tell me the opposite. Please, prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong.
I would say maybe Maleficent. Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
No.
Anything that takes the mistress of all evil and tries to make her sympathetic is no good in my eyes. Props to Angelina Jolie. She made a good performance, but that story was ass. God. Aladdin. What did they do to Aladdin? You seen the Aladdin?
No, we have Aladdin. It was actually good.
Okay.
Is it wrong that I prefer Will Smith when he's not color blue?
That's fine.
That's
He
fine.
feels
He's
more
got
natural.
He's got his. He's there. It's more that like his. It's more like his presence feels more real because he's not CGI.
Honestly,
blue,
I would have
guess.
preferred it if it was just, genie supernatural powers, but it's just Will Smith dressed in blue, okay? Because
He did
Blue
his role
Smith,
right. I'm afraid this is one thing we're gonna have to disagree on, Angel, because I think that the live-action Aladdin movie is the exception.
I don't think he's that bad compared to the others, but I got two complaints. Just two complaints. One, Blue Smith. Didn't care for Blue Smith. I don't know.
Okay.
His face on the fucking Smurf body freaks me out. Uncanny Valley, you know?
Okay.
And second, why did we waste the final fight on Giant Bird? Where was my giant snake? I wanted the giant snake and the stupid puns.
That would have been nice, I guess. Because I'd see that more.
I want dumb
more-
giant snake.
Like get this guy, get the live action Jafar to actually like him morphing into a giant snake would be fucking badass. That would have been.
That
nice.
would have been
That would have
cool.
been cool. They could have done it. Oh,
I
Angel,
want
you wanna know
giant.
what's
You gotta
funny?
agree with me on that one.
You wanna know what's funny?
Hmm?
What if an internet nerd took the entire video sequence of the giant Iago and dubbed in Gilbert Gottfried reciting the lines to WAP?
Then I would actually give a shit. But no. No.
All right, we're.
No, no,
I
no,
think
no,
we're
no, no, no,
done.
no.
Casey was saying, I don't know. I liked Maleficent. Well, that's, of course, and she's saying, also asking, have you guys seen the new Mulan movie? I have, and it's one of those things that, like, okay, it looks nice,
But
but
why?
it doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know whether it wants to be serious or high fantasy or what.
It's just, it also kind of shits on its own narrative constantly. So, frankly, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you don't even bother. It's just kind of
to the-
bad.
It's okay. Whoever wants to see it and suffer through it, let them.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Everyone has their own-
whatever you want to, but fair warning. See, this is the
It's 2.5
problem.
hours that they're not going to get back.
Yeah, more importantly, anytime we get an adaptation of something, it is inevitable that we'll compare it to the original. We have to
It's never
compare
gonna measure up because
DMC.
We got rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah, even if we don't, we have to. We have to. And the original is available for us to peruse whenever we want to because we live in the age of the internet.
Right.
When we watch Mulan, inevitably you'll compare it to the original. When you watch Lion King, you'll compare it to the original. When you play DMC, you'll compare to DMC 1, 3, 5, 4, whatever. You compare because whether you like it or not, this thing is based off another thing you already enjoyed. It is inevitable that you won't make comparisons. That's how the human brain works. And
Well-
yeah, no, I'm sorry. This thing is just.
It's also a matter of, well, yeah, no, I was going to say, it's also a matter of choice. You could choose to compare it and also judge it on its own merit.
Even on, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Mulan is the DMC of live action movies.
Whoa!
Yeah, no, I'm saying it. I'm saying it right
Let's
now.
not say anything we can't
I'm
take
not
back
taking
now.
it back. This is my heel. Here's my flag. I'm gonna die on it. Mulan live action is the DMC of live action Disney movies.
Oh,
They
Jesus.
tell you that they are cooler and better than the old thing, but they don't know what the hell they want. The plot is all over the place. The action is crap. The special effects are shit, and the only good parts of the music are the ones that resemble the previous one.
Yeah, even if you
Not
don't
in a
make
million years.
based on what I've read, even if you don't draw comparisons to the original, yeah, it sucks on its own.
Okay.
Dude,
I-
it's
I
bad on
think
its own and it's bad by comparison. It's DMC.
I think on that note, I think we ought to call it a night.
Yeah, let's call it a night.
I
We're
was saying I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just happy it isn't whitewashed. Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, that part was never going to be an
That's
issue.
the only good thing.
Oh no, just wait for a moment. I'm pretty sure that if I look around, I can find some black Mongols in there for you.
Oh God, shut up. Jesus, man.
Oh, they may not whitewash, but let me tell you, honey, they'll put every other kind of wash in there if they can help it.
Oh my-
Diversity points.
Oh my
Diversity
God, Angel,
points.
Stop. All right, right, that pretty much does it for us. This has been another awesome edition here. Thank you for tuning in. Angel, thank you for joining us live via satellite, via Zoom. Wancho, go ahead and plug us away.
Thank you very much for watching this week's live stream edition of the Ravens Flock here on YouTube and Twitch. Be sure to catch us on your replays. Hit the thumbs up, comment on us, hit the notification bell, subscribe to us, share with your friends, let everyone know about how the Ravens Flock can help make your voice our mission. And until next week, continue to follow us on, where is the damn thing? Here it is, Facebook. God dang it, where is it? Stupid thing doesn't want to line up.
Not
God
now.
dang it.
Hang on. Come on.
Whoopsie.
Ah!
Facebook.com.
There we go.
Flock.
Oh,
Twitter.com
jeez.
/RavensFlock13. Instagram.com /RavensFlock Online. Home of the Wednesday Night War every Thursday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern on our Instagram page. And, of course, check us out on our podcast, The Black Files, on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Consider supporting the Ravens Flock on our Teespring store. Teespring.com /store/The Ravens Flock. And use our promo code FSHIP2020 for free shipping on any order you get. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, subscribe to us and follow us on our twitch.tv /The Ravens Flock online and youtube.com /The Ravens Flock. Home of the Black Files. Los Amigos Play Live, which is every Saturday afternoon at 5:30 Eastern. And the Ravens Flock Live every Saturday evening at 7:30 Eastern.
All right, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. This is the September 26th live edition of our stream here, of our simulcast. We are the Ravens Flock, and we are out.
And your prom date, you sack of shit.